Kat Kellyer.
It does appear that there's a hesitation to confer a White House meeting on Netanyahu based on just a lack of willingness to be explicit about that. I mean, I would imagine the Prime Minister will also be at the United Nations General Assembly, and that would be another potential venue that would fall into what you were describing yesterday. Is there any reason why the White House wouldn't make it explicit that a White House invitation has been extended?
I mean, you just laid out, there's potential other opportunities for the two leaders to meet with each other.
We all have moments of deja vu, but this was ridiculous.
As I've stated, that the details are going to be worked out by the different teams on what that's going to look like and where that's going to be. But they have committed to meeting and seeing each other in the United States later this year. I just don't have a specific on location. It's going to be worked out, and as soon as we know, we'll certainly share it with all of you.
Walk us through how the president was notified about the North Korean incident, and if that generated any kind of a separate meeting for him, or was it part of the PDB? Something like this is certainly unusual, so if there's any detail you could give us about how that came about.
That's a very good question. I can tell you for sure that clearly the president has been briefed, obviously. This is a type of incident that he would be briefed on, as you all know. I don't have the specifics if it was part of his PDB or a separate briefing.
This guy sucks.
But certainly this is something that the president is watching very closely and will be kept updated.
Should we anticipate a call to South Korea or other partners in the region as a result of this?
So one thing I can say is that I don't have any calls to read out to anybody that the president's going to be calling specifically in either North Korea or South Korea. I can say that as it relates to our partners, we have been engaging certainly with Sweden and South Korea, but I don't have any calls to lay out specifically for the president.
Karine, thank you. On the matter of the U.S. soldier, you said that the U.S. is working to resolve this matter. Can you just clarify what a resolution is?
Well, I mean, resolve this incident, resolve this matter to get to the bottom of exactly what happened. There is an investigation that's currently occurring. There has been outreach from the Department of Defense, right, as I mentioned, to their counterparts over at the Korean People's Army. You have the State Department, you have the Department of Defense, you have the UN and the White House all working together to resolve this. Resolving this is basically getting to the bottom of exactly what happened. And that is important for us to know. I just don't have more to share, and once we do, we'll certainly share the information.
Bringing him home, because
well, we have also said, look, he's an American citizen. That is important to note, right? As we know, as a soldier, we have also said our primary concern at this time is ascertaining his well-being and getting to the bottom of exactly what happened and what occurred. I'm just going to say what Secretary Austin said moments ago. He's absolutely concerned about the welfare of his troops, right? That is something that, as the Secretary of Defense, that he is concerned about.
Good one.
And this will develop in the next several days and hours, and certainly will keep you posted, and that is coming directly from the Secretary of Defense.
are you working under the assumption that this soldier wants to come back to the U.S., or do you know that for certain?
I'm not working under any hypotheticals or any assumptions. What we're doing is trying to, there's going to be an investigation into this incident. I certainly don't want to get into hypotheticals, speculations of what occurred or how we ended up here. We just want to make sure that we get to the bottom of this.
And then quickly on another topic, we were informed shortly before going into the Oval Office that several members of the Israeli delegation tested positive for COVID. Can you tell us whether President Herzog was tested before his meeting, given the close proximity to President Biden?
So as you know, we have testing protocols anytime somebody meets with the president. So I can tell you that anybody who meets with the president does indeed get tested. I do. We all do. Any specifics, additional questions about what occurred amongst the Israeli delegation, I would certainly refer you to them.
Thank you.
We're not in danger though, right?
Thanks, Karine. Despite the Supreme Court ruling, Alabama state lawmakers proposed a congressional map that would, a secondary map that would have a district that would be 42% black not quite a majority as the plaintiffs in the case have said. They say this is a violation of the Supreme Court ruling. Does the White House take that position that this proposed map does not fulfill the ruling of the Supreme Court to have that second district majority black?
So that is something that I would have to refer you to the Department of Justice. I'm just not going to speak to that from here. I have not seen the secondary map of what it is that is being done in Alabama, but I would refer you to the Department of Justice.
Oh my God.
On voting rights, Senator Warnock and Senate Democrats today are reintroducing the Freedom to Vote Act, something that the president has called for Congress to pass repeatedly. Though we know the political reality in the House for that bill, what is the White House's message to Americans more broadly about voting rights and with the reintroduction of the Freedom to Vote Act?
So look, this, as you just stated, this is something that the president sees as a priority, making sure that Americans have the right to vote, have those freedoms intact. And so that is something, a message that the president will always continue to share. He's going to continue to call on Congress to act. It sounds like they're moving forward in the right direction, and we think that's incredibly important. It is our constitutional right to be able to vote freely, to be able to make sure our voices are heard, but just not going to go beyond that.
What the hell are you talking about? Who are you talking to? Alrighty then.
I'm out of here.